Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. I'm going to be discussing 1.2 Doctor Who Rutans versus Sontarans Rendition. God, this is an interesting one. Now, these are like single disc stories because they all assemble into that. Now, last time we had the Renegade Doctor, Dr. Ruth, and she was basically giving us how the Rutans meet the Sontarans storyline. But now we're in the actual war of the Rutans. So these are all Rutan heavy, yeah? Now on the front of it, you've got Zoe, you've got Jamie, you've got the second Doctor and the 8th Doctor. So you're going, hey, it's a multi-Doctor story, which is kind of cool. Everyone likes them, but it's a one-disc story. So how are you going to get 4 big characters, a load of Rutans, and a multi-Doctor story in one disc? Let's look at the synopsis and we'll have a chat. At the edge of the Sontaran-Rutan War, a large medical ship lingers in space. The Doctor and his friends find a group of strange survivors aboard a planning something unusual to save their commander. What new powers do the Rutans possess? What secrets does the Lockhart hold? And as the conflict creeps closer, the Doctor must work out how to rescue those no longer versed in war. Versed in war, clever. See, there's a lot of war poetry in here, and it's very difficult to have war poetry in an audio or in anything that you're taking seriously when in the back of your head you've got Baldrick going boom 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 boom. Yes, right, you've got that going on, because if you are, especially in Britain, and you went to school, you will have done war poetry, and oh my God, it either speaks to you and takes you by the heart, or it makes you go, what the hell? And I'll be fair with you, poetry never truly spoke to me in the way that it does to others. I'm a narrative boy, and I know that Richard, who listens to this, knew me for years, and he's a poet boy, right? And it's fine. He's the whittler, and I am the carpenter, right? Okay, I will write prose and I will enjoy it. And I can make stuff rhyme and I will enjoy it. And I can do mechanically poetry, but I do not feel it in the same way as others. But here we've got wounded Rutans who've been at war, who've exposed themselves to the history of war poetry and are in group therapy. Yeah, it's going to sound a bit off the page, but to be fair, that's what this sort of stuff needs. Tim Foley's taking ideas of wounded and damaged, mentally wounded as well as physically wounded people in a hospital spaceship, and they are doing group therapy. But it's got the second Doctor there. And how good is Michael Troughton, right? Because I was not as sold as everyone else was. I love Michael Troughton. He's an absolutely lovely bloke, right? I liked him in a lot of other things, but I didn't think his voice really was as close to his dad's as it could have been. But it's not what he's doing. He's doing the second Doctor. He's doing his version of the second Doctor. And I've embraced that now. I've gone with it. I'm not saying he was a bad second Doctor, because he wasn't. He was lovely. And God, he's such a nice guy. What I'm saying is, my brain was going, is that the second Doctor? I'm really going to have to work at embracing this. And I don't have to work at embracing the Jonathan Carley War Doctor. I don't have to work at embracing the third Doctor. But I did have to put in a bit of legwork on this one. And that's fine. Perhaps it's because I'm not as exposed to the second Doctor as much as I could have been. Or even the first Doctor. You know what I mean? So that's fine. That's fine. Narrative-wise, you've got that lovely setup, but you haven't got a multi-Doctor story in the sense that they don't actually get to meet up. they are partaking in the same narrative, and the Eighth Doctor has turned up to sort something out for what I'm guessing is the ongoing narrative for the next release. So is this a good box set? Well, it's a good series. It is, because it's taking the Rutans and presenting them to us because we don't know that much about them really. They're jellyfish, right? They're jellyfish who can shape change, and they've got a bit of a collective mind, and that's kind of all we really know. We've learned stuff's been added to their canon over the years, but the fact how much they hate the Sontarans, and John of Cawley's in this as well, being a Sontaran. So that's great. Right. I probably just confused matters, but what I want to say is this release is out. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure you will too, because we don't know that much about the Rutans, and they're being presented in a very different way. It is lovely that the Sontarans are so fixed in their outlook. They are clones, they are meant to be identical, and the Rutans are such shapeshifters that they don't have a fixed shape, and that's why they hate each other. And the reason they're at war, well, that was discussed in the last release. Here's the trailer. Decide for yourself as always. Until next time, be seeing you.
Hello? Anyone home? This ship feels deserted.
From Big Finish Productions, The Worlds of Doctor Who, Rutans versus Sontarans, Rendition.
Can you hear that?
Hear what?
Sounds like cannons.
Astral artillery.
Thank Minerva you've arrived. Which of you is the doctor?
You're expecting him?
The patients are sleeping at present.
Why the green light?
They require it for restoration.
Then what are they, Doctor?
One of the most dangerous races in the galaxy. The Rutans.
They're stubbornly maintaining a human look. Not only that, very often the same look.
A race of clones versus a race of shapeshifters.
Destroy it! Launching missile!
Strange, the Sontarans are employing subterfuge. Not normally their style.
The Sontarans currently have the upper hand.
You have nowhere left to run.
I estimate we have 30 hours before we're swept up in the chaos.
Then you've no hope of escape.
We must destroy this Rutan hive!
Well, I'm Zoe.
Hello, Zoe. Now, watch me do something reckless.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. All topics discussed are the intellectual property of the copyright owners. No infringement is intended. Why not follow the show on Blue Sky at tindogpodcast.bsky.social. If you've enjoyed this podcast on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.